Okay, so this video I'm going to try and do it a little bit different to the usual hunting videos. So I'm going to try and explain a little bit about how ammonites are used to date rocks, and this is through biostratigraphy, and this is really useful for geologists to be able to look at the different sequences of rocks using the fauna within it. People often ask, how old is my ammonite? And that really is not the right question, because it should be, how old is the rock my ammonite came from? And this is all concerned with stratigraphy. It's a bit of geology I'm quite interested in. And stratigraphy is a branch of geology concerned with the study of the rock layers, or the strata, and the layering stratification. There's three subfields. Lithostratigraphy is the study of the rock itself, and quite often the different layers can be seen. For example, in a cliff face, you can see them as bedding planes, or you'll see the different changes in the different beds of rock. So that's studying the actual changes in the rock as you go up a face. Biostratigraphy, which is where the ammonites come in, looking at the fauna present in those rocks. And chronostratigraphy, placing an absolute age on the rocks by measuring, for example, isotopes. You might have heard of carbon dating, that kind of thing. So yeah, this video might more accurately be described as how old is the rock that my ammonite came from. And one of the ways we use to measure the age of the rock is ammonites, used as an index species. So the use of ammonites in stratigraphy was really pioneered by two Germans in the 1850s. This was Friedrich Quenstedt and Albert Oppel of Munich. And no doubt you'll have heard of some ammonites with their names incorporated. So we've obviously got Quenstedt-Tosserus lamberti from the Lamberti zone in the Oxford clay, and we've got Apelia in the Bajocian exposures. So people were very good at naming ammonites after themselves in the 1800s when all this work was being carried out. So their work was based on ammonites of the Swabian and Franconian Alb of southern Germany, the eastern extension of the Jura Mountains of France and Switzerland, and the Jura Mountains are where the Jurassic period takes its name. So over many years, paleontologists have then built upon this work, so we can now use ammonite species to identify how old the rocks they're found in are. There's a good reason why we use ammonites. Ammonites make excellent guide fossils because they evolved rapidly, so that each ammonite species has a relatively short lifespan. They're found in many types of sedimentary rocks. They're relatively common and easy to identify, and they have worldwide geographical distribution. So the rapidity of ammonite evolution is the single most important reason for their superiority over other fossils for the purposes of correlation. Ammonites can be used to distinguish intervals of geological timescale of less than 200,000 years, which in terms of Earth's history is very precise when we're looking over 200 million years. So for this video we're sticking with the Jurassic, as the Cretaceous is a bit more complicated, as the ammonite fauna isn't so complete and we do have to use other fossils. But when we look at the Jurassic fauna, there's a really good sequence of ammonites where we can tell exactly what time period we're in. So we'll now look at the Jurassic. So the Jurassic period is divided into three epochs. The early Jurassic, or lower Jurassic, which is 201.3 million to 174.1 million years ago. The middle Jurassic, which is 174.1 million to 163.5 million years ago. And the late Jurassic, or upper Jurassic, which is 163.5 million years to 145 million years ago. Overall there's 11 stages. Those stages start with the Hatangian and move through the Sinemurian, the Pliensbachian, the Tuarcian, the Eolenian, the Bajocian, Bathonian, Calovian, Oxfordian, Kimmeridgian and Tithonian. And those stages each have Usually between them there is some sort of oxidation event or die-off or extinction event, which delineates when the stage came to an end and the next one started. So each of the 11 stages is further divided into zones. If we take the Tuarcian stage as an example, you can see there how it's divided up into zones. So the Tuarcian stage stretches from 183 to 175.6 million years ago. It starts with the Tenuicastatum zone, which is in Yorkshire, the grey shales. After that, it's the jet rock, or the Falciferum zone, where we get the Eleganticeras and the Harpoceras, the lovely golden cannonballs. We then get the most well-known zone, which is the Bifron zone, where we get the Dax and Hildes. And after that, then we only see the next few subzones at Ravenscar. So we've got the Variabilis, where we get the Horgias, and the Thuarensis zone, where we get the Gramoceras. And then the last two youngest zones, Levesqui and Elensis, they're not really seen in Yorkshire, but they are seen elsewhere in the country. Each zone in turn is then split up into subzones. So if again we take the most common zone that we find in Whitby, which is the Bifrons, that's split up into 3 subzones in Yorkshire. That is the Commune subzone, and the Fibulatum subzone, and the Crassum subzone. And those ammonites are the dactylioceras commune, it is Perinoceras fibulatum, and it is Catacloceras crassum. So you can see how as we go up those ammonites are changing. So we go from the Ribbidax to spiny Perinoceras, and then we go to the inflated Catacloceras, also with spines. So there's some ammonite evolution there as well. Those subzones, they're also split into biohorizons. So for example, the commune will have the commune biohorizon, but also the Athleticum biohorizon. So there are 2 different species of Dactylioceras ammonite represented within there. So again, biohorizons are not always worked out for each section, but for some they are. And again, this is where the real power of ammonite stratigraphy comes in, because where there are biohorizons, you can really pinpoint the ages of the rock. All you need is a good chart that you can get off the internet with all the different subzones on, and a geological timescale to go along with it. And from that, you can usually extrapolate within a million years or so how old your ammonite's going to be. So I like to use this lovely chart here. It's got a timescale on the side there. It gives you the epoch, and it gives you the different ammonites that you can find within that epoch. You can find it online, and I go down through the Cretaceous, going down into the Jurassic, going down, all the way to the top of the Triassic. So again, I can look on there, and for example, if I'm looking at the Tuarcian exposures, I can have a look, and I've got Hildoceras bifrons, and we can go over there to the age, and it's approximately 180 to 181 million years old. Right, just with Dave Dale, did a collection video of his collection late last year. This is a new one, and it's huge. It's an Apodoroceras aculeatum. It's a lovely big one, that, isn't it? It's been amassing probably the finest collection of Phredocadoceras in the country. In fact, I think you've got so many of these now you want to sell a couple, don't you? Which, yeah, these are very rare ammonites, so not very many opportunities to collect any. Look at that, fantastic middles. Lovely ammonites these. So rare. Robin Hood's Bay, you very, very rarely get one, but they're not very well preserved, not like these ones from Lincolnshire. We've got some little beauties as well.
Amazing ammonites. But yeah, those Stratigraphy are quite spectacular. And that's the female version, isn't it? Yeah. And that one. So they're quite different to the female versions, and they're much different. The inner whorls are very similar, but the outer whorls are obviously a lot bigger. Cool. So yeah, and just looking at what cracking a few nodules open. It's always nice to split a few on the beach, but it's good just to know the difference between some of the nodules and the preservation types. So these Whitby Mudstone nodules, they're very dark, sticky matrix. Very rarely will split with a hammer and chisel. Occasionally get the odd one, but mostly you're going to end up with a broken fossil. These need to be prepared with an air pen, or they can be cut and polished. But yeah, very rarely will these split nicely. So if you find loads of these, really, you're just going to be breaking them if you are going to hammer them all. These ones, these are from Port Mulgrave. These always split really nice. So you can see the nice pyrotised inner. You do get these at Saltwick Bay as well. You're looking for the nice shiny green or brown shell. So yeah, usually these are very, very dull. If you see a nice shiny green bit of shell or a nice brown bit of shell, generally it means they're pyrotised and they will pop. There will be some separation between the shell and the inside. And if you do get bits like this, again, these are worth having a little bit of a pop. I don't think this one is actually preserved very well because it's very light. But when you see the outer whorls like that, quite often you can just give them a little tap with a hammer and see if there's anything there. Again, stuff like this will quite often pop. Right, so let's see if we can pop a couple of dacks. I'm going to look at this one first. Who knows if it will. So you can see there is the keel going around there. It's quite a soft powdery one, this one, so it might not split. Always good if you've got a stable block. I quite like a nice big hammer to do these pops, but everyone has their own. I'm going to hit the ammonite on the edge in front of where the whorl goes in, and hopefully just kind of push the rock off. Hopefully, let's see if it works. Sometimes they do take a few hits, depends how soft and powdered they are. There we go. So we've got a crack, so you can see the whorl of the ammonite is going round this bit, and I've been hitting it in front, effectively almost pushing the rock off. This is the way I like to open ammonites, but everyone has their own way. So has it preserved? That is the question. I'm going to duck down because you can't see me. Can't see me. There we go. Perfect split. Well, almost perfect. We've took a little bit of that whorl off there, but it adds to the character. Not a bad little split. Again, these Port Mulgrave ammonites, they do split pretty well. If you're going to split ammonites, it's probably the place to go. Yeah, so we've got this one as well. So you can see the ammonite is there. It's always really important. I like to bring these home because you can see where the whorl is, give them a bit of a clean. So you can see that's quite a good one. I don't want to hit it directly onto that bit because that's going to damage the ammonite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the rock, so I can see it goes all the way around there. I can see there might even be a double, that, you know. Could quite possibly be a double. Could be a dac sandwich. I've noticed that before. Pick up a bit of this flake off. Could be, could be not. I'm going to give it a little split, I think. So that's there. So I'm gonna hit it across here, I think. I'm going to hit it that way. Let's see what happens. Oh. So that's going across there. Okay. more difficult to open. And I'm trying not to damage the ammonite, so I'm taking it steady because we know there's a decent one in here. It can be prepared by pen quite easily, quite sometimes. There we go. So, oh, it slipped. So this one has been a little bit tougher, but we have got a split. Is it going to be any good? Not too bad. So again, not a bad split. Again, with the hammer, you're never going to get perfect results all the time. There's always a chance of a bit of damage, but adds to the bit of character and you get a pos neg. Whereas obviously if you prep these with a pen, the negative's going to get destroyed. So sometimes it's nice just to do a few with a hammer. But these are common ammonites, so hence why I don't mind hammering a few of them. I'm not going to do every one, but now and then they're not so bad. If it was a rare ammonite, the hammer won't go anywhere near this. Lastly, for a bit of fun, have a look at this one. It's very water worn, very soft. I think this is going to be powder. I think it's going to be a small explosion. So in fact, I'm going to do this with a slightly smaller hammer. There we go, I've just tapped it. And there we go. You can see it's quite eroded, unfortunately, is this one. Hence why it's quite soft. Almost powdery, but again, a little split. Not so bad. If you choose the right nodules to hit, you'll get some good results. Say the black ones, don't bother hammering those. They need penning. They won't split, they'll just break. But these light grey nodules or the rusty ones, quite often you'll get a good result. Yeah, these warm ones, these can be great fun for splitting. So when you find these on the beach, see the keel poking out, very oddly shaped, you know it's an ammonite inside. Yeah, see if you can get a nice centre out of them. Sometimes they pop, sometimes they don't, but either way, they're not a complete specimen, they're not rare, so it's okay to have a little go with a hammer. Let's have a see. And all I'm going to do is, we've got the ammonite whirl here, and I'm just going to try and hit the matrix with the hammer, with a little big this one. Might just use this slightly smaller hammer. Giving up its secrets, this one. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are awkward. Oh, there we go. To go from the other side. There we go. Lovely little pop. You can see little dark middle there. It's never going to be a perfect specimen, but great fun on the beach if you want to pop a few nodules. Always go for these with a hammer. If you find one that looks perfect, then that's the one to take home and do some proper prep on to get a good specimen. So yeah, good fun. And since it's going so well, a couple more. So again, you can see pretty worn keel there. Let's see if we can get that to pop, see what's inside. Use a smaller hammer for this one. Put it about there, I think. There we go. Lovely split. Again, it's quite water worn, but inside some lovely whirls. And I might just do this one as well actually, because again the outer keel is very warm, so I think I could hit it there and possibly get a nice split on that one. Chunky one, this. There we go, a few more taps on this one, to get it to open. Oh, I want to open. We've got a crack. Oh, there we go. And again, lovely split. Nice chunky one that. There we go. Two lovely splitters.